All right, we've talked about particulates that get swept out of the air by this technology, by the massive wave of positive and negative ions. I'm going to turn the machine off, which I can do here on the front by just doing that. Set this aside, and then I have a piece of equipment that will demonstrate very, very graphically what goes on. This is called a Visionaire. This is a closed system box so that there will be no fans that can do anything. In fact, once I create a cloud of smoke in here, I will make all kinds of efforts to make the smoke do anything, and it won't. It'll just fill this box. So this has a seal all the way around it. This is hinged. Some of you might remember the Lionel trains where we'd put a little drop of oil in the smokestack and it would puff as it would go around. This is similar technology right here. So we would put a little bit of oil in here, which is going to be a heating element. Now we are going to seal this down, and we have plugged in the power source back here, and the button over here says smoke. And turn this on. Now that's going to heat up an element inside that's going to take that smoke, and as the smoke warms up, you'll start to see, you see it already, I believe, see that, you see it coming up like that, filling, and as this goes, it's going to fill this entire thing so that you get enough smoke going on here, you will not be able to see much of what's happening inside. And that's what we're looking for. This represents the kind of pollutants that can come in a home, or an office, or a school, or any other facility as a particulates cloud around. We may not see it, but we'll have a cloud like this that we're breathing all the time. Now as that's happening, I can do this, and this doesn't change the smoke because it's a sealed system, so it's just collecting smoke inside. And we want to build up a real good head of particulates in there. If you could see this under the microscope, oh wait, that's some really neat waves stuff in there. If you could see it on a microscope, you could barely see each particle, but there's so many of them, that's why we're getting this. Now you notice it's getting more and more difficult to see things in there. It looks very, very foggy, very, very smoky. Alright, so I'm going to turn off the heat source. The smoke is going to stay there. Now, I could open this up and then all of the smoke would dissipate throughout the entire room, but you'll still see there's quite a bit of smoke in here. I'm going to turn on the ion antenna. Now, without any kind of fan, you see the motion that occurs in here because that's sending a pulse of ions through there. But then watch what happens when I turn on the needle. Now what has happened? The positive and negative ions have caused those little tiny particles that you can't see by themselves to stick together and kind of snowball together. It's called flocculation or granulation, and by virtue of the fact that they all got together, they got too heavy to be airborne, and they have now fallen to the center and to the interior surface. Is that amazing technology? And that's what's in this machine that's functioning all the time that it's on, going everywhere, even behind walls and into cavities and so on, where you have things floating that you don't want floating there. It's making those things flock together. And that's why we don't put this in the corner of an outside part of the house. We put it toward the center so that that kind of technology can take over and do its job.